Well, weather looks like it's cleared up a little bit. Sounds like there is a window. What are you hearing just in regard to how today could potentially play out?
I think early we should be fine, and then there might be something light as far as some weather, and then later on in the afternoon it starts to pick up. So hopefully we start on time and get as much of this game played as possible.
With Kershaw, of course, his last outing was shortened due to weather. What are you looking to see from him today, and does it pose it as a challenge just knowing that weather could potentially play in this one as well?
A little bit. I know he was a little kind of making jokes about him pitching again with weather looming. But I think today for me, the other day when he had the abbreviated start, I thought the stuff was good, albeit short, 2 innings. Just more of what he's done. I think the stuff has been good. Just the command, just to continue to harness that command, which I think he's very mindful of today, and go as long as he can.
How much has he had to adapt the way he attacks hitters, especially just with where his stuff is at right now, even when it is kind of playing up, kind of relative to where he's at? But has he had to change the way he goes after guys, even compared to the last couple of years?
He you know what? He over the last couple of years, I think that he's been mindful of that, and also hitters nowadays are very in tune with game planning and tendencies. So I think that in itself calls for pitchers to kind of change the game plan. I do think that Clayton's throwing more changeups recently. I think the curveball introduced a little bit more, using the other side of the plate, and just trying not to be as predictable. So he's certainly mindful of that, absolutely.
Has he finally found a changeup that works for him at this point?
He does. He has. He trusts it. I do think that it's going to be a viable option for him just to get people off of his fastball and his slider.
Is it split change? What did he end up with?
You know what? I think it's more circle versus a split change.
Okay, what's the plan for Shohei now for the pitching?
So today, Shohei's just going to go out there and play catch, and the expectation is he's going to do a live sometime this week. Right now, I can't speak to whether it's Saturday or Sunday, but he's going to face some hitters again this weekend.
Coming out of spring training, if we had told you that Luis Garcia would be one of your most reliable and used relievers, what would you have thought?
Well, I think I wouldn't have been. That's not too far fetched. I think that Luis, as a veteran pitcher, I think with that you sort of count on knowing what you're going to get from the player, and he's very strong, physical, takes the baseball, always has. So I think that the reliability, durability, I think kind of comes into play. But I think as far as kind of, leverage, I think that's another question. He's kind of moved up the totem pole with some of the things that have happened with our pen guys. But it's nice to count on a guy that's a veteran and is proven.
Is he your most rubber-arm guy down there?
I would say him and Banda are probably the most resilient guys.
I have a random one for you. How do you know when you've done enough preparation personally, gone over enough scouting, lineup possibilities? Do you have a good sense of when you're overloading yourself? And is that a different?
I think that there's I think the main part of it is actually knowing your own players. I think for me is you can sort of fine-tune tooth comb or whatever that saying is, with the opponents and tendencies and things like that. But at the end of the day, certainly in baseball, you just got to really know your players. And every matchup doesn't always play out as such. For me, I think trying to make all my players feel relevant and valued is the main thing over the course of a marathon season, and giving guys starts or innings and things like that. But there is a point, I think, that you can over kind of analyze things.
One team can 4-0 down just because of the change in their pitching.
Yeah, changing the pitching, but also ready to enter at any point during the game. And but that's kind of the thought. And I want to make sure that Rojas gets a couple at bats, and then obviously get Kike a start as well.